Alright, so in this video, I'm gonna demonstrate how to connect your application with some phone features using Phonegap. So many of you have expressed the interest of using a camera, and some of you wants to work with geolocation. So it's a good chance for me to wrap these up. Both I'm going to create a simple camera app that whenever you take a photo, you record the geolocation of the exact position where you are taking that image. So let's get started. Let's put terminal here, and I'm going to create my Phonegap project on the desktop. You're going to do Phonegap create. And then name of your folder, I'm going to do simple cam, which is probably is going to be the name of this app. And the second one is going to be your app bundle ID. And the last one is going to be the name of your app, so you can have, you know, this fancy capitalized letter. Hit enter, and now you have created your Phonegap folder, which is this one. And the only folder that you need to mess around with is the www folder. I'm gonna drag that into my Sublime text, and I'm gonna minimize this down. So the second step is that you will add a platform for your development. You will cd to your folder you just created, and you type Phonegap build. In this case, I'm going to do iOS because I only have an iPhone here. I'm going to do Phonegap build iOS. If you're using Android, you do Phonegap build Android. Wait for a while, and then it's done. Successfully compiled iOS app. You can preview your app using Phonegap Surf, and you can now grab your phone and open up the Phonegap developer app and type your IP address that just shown here onto the interface, and now you will have the default app running, which has this Phonegap logo robot thing with this device ready pulsing on the screen. So right now I'm gonna modify some of the code that comes with the default package. I'm gonna open up index, 3 indexes, which is for documents, JavaScript, and CSS. I'm gonna clean up some script here, which I don't really need. I'm going to remove some comments, the default elements, default script, which I don't really need. Here I'm going to add a jQuery library here, jQuery.min.js, and you need to grab the file and put it inside the JS folder. jQuery here inside JS folder, and I'm going to clean up the CSS file. I'm not going to remove this. So I suggest you follow along here. So I leave this asterisk, which will force every element to have the tab highlight, to not have the tab highlight. Actually, it becomes transparent link. So every time that you hit on a link, or you try to hold your finger on some element, it will not, the highlight will not show up at all. Gonna have the body be width 100% and height 100%. Gonna remove the rest of the styling here, so you don't have any confusing styles. in JS files. So look carefully. I'm going to remove everything here. I'm going to start as a clean blank document, and I will define our app namespace, and something that we have done for a couple times. I'm going to follow the same pattern that we did in class. Return init, and what you need to be careful of here. So instead of doing window dot load main init, so instead of doing this, if you're developing using Phonegap and you're previewing on your phone, there is some difference in here, which is you need to follow some of their guidelines, which using you're selecting document and you're listening for an event called device ready, which is a Phonegap event that wait until everything on your phone is loaded, and now you're ready to init. When I say everything, I mean all the files, all the libraries that come with the Phonegap that is running in the background that we don't really know what's happening, but this is really important, super important. And we can console log app init here, and whenever that we save or make changes, our Phonegap serve will detect that change and automatically reload our app and pushing all the files again to the phone, so you can see the most recent result of your code. And moreover, you can also get this console message from the terminal here. That's the only way that you can debug your code while running it on the phone. Alright, so let's try to integrate camera and geolocation. So right here I'm on the Phonegap documentation, version 3.5.0, which is the most updated version of Phonegap. And then you might want to look at the plugin APIs page over here. Now I'm gonna look up camera and geolocation. So their documentation is pretty solid and useful, and it comes with a bunch of example. So the example I'm gonna grab here is just basic: take a photo and retrieve it as a base 64 encoded image. Please Google what the base 64 encoded means. I'm gonna grab this script here and I'm gonna put it inside a function called get camera. Also with geolocation, over here, I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to grab this example. Alright. So, so we go back to the camera, and there are a bunch of camera options that come with the API that you can play around with. You can change the quality, you can have the edit feature when you take a picture. You can have a different encoding type, which is right here is using JPEG. You can have you can set the target size. So I'm going to grab this and add it here. So in order to save the space, the memory, I'm just gonna have our target image this big, which is 200 by 200 pixel. All right, and okay. Now let's go back to our index.html, because whenever we call the camera, it's going to initiate this function, navigator.camera.getPicture, and once our camera has successfully taken an image, it will call the onSuccess function, which is over here, and all the image file will be parsed inside image data. And what the code does here is that it's replacing the src of the img tag of an ID my image, and it just so the base64 format that represent this image data, it's just a bunch of long string. So in order to convert the string into an image file, we need to have this code here, data image / JPEG, because the encoding type is by default a JPEG, and it's in base64 format. So just follow the code here. We need to create an img tag to hold our image. And it has to be ID my image. I'm going to set width to 200, height 200, and I'm going to create a p tag for holding our geolocation latitude and longitude. So when we take a photo, every time it will grab geolocation from the phone's GPS and put it inside this container. And lastly, we're going to have a button to initiate the camera. Get cam. Take photo. Right. So that's it for our HTML document. So I'm previewing it on my phone, and I can see that I have the a placeholder for my image. It has a really thin border, and the size is going to be 200 by 200, and I have this button saying for taking photos. And so I'm going to create a attached event function. So it's going to be a listener for my button. So whenever we click the button on click, we can init the camera. So we do get camera. So if you hit take photo on your phone, nothing would happen because we need to call attach event function here when we init the app, and then it should pull up the camera app, and you can take photo, and you hit use photo, and that photo would appear in the img tag as we anticipated. So now we just need to grab the location using this function. So whenever we have successfully taken an image, we're going to call getLocation function here, And inside the on success callback here, I'm not gonna have it alert anything, but instead I'm gonna have it printed in my p tag. HTML var location will keep the text lat. I'm gonna concatenate the string here. So latitude is gonna be this object. Longitude is going to be this object. You can also play around with other attributes such as altitude, heading, speed, and such. And inside the HTML, I'm gonna have location printed. So, and it should work. Let's just hit get photo, take photo, and I took a photo, use photo, and now I can see the latitude and the longitude print out under the img tag. Alright, so I think that would be helpful for some of you guys, more or less. If you have any question, please email me, and I'll see you in the class. Thank you.